Ho, ho, ho! Once again, Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Brit and Jake, Go to the Movies, is back with yet another episode. I'm Britton.
And I'm Jacob.
And today, we're going to be doing things a little differently. Today, a little bit, just a little bit. We are not only going to be talking about one movie today. We're going to be talking about two, though, to be honest, this is kind of some trickery here. There are two animated Christmas specials, because back in the 60s, there were just a bunch of Christmas animated specials. I mean, this, Frosty Snowman, Charlie Brown Christmas, Little Drummer Boy, all that stuff. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all that fun stuff. So, we're going to be talking about two things today. We're going to be talking about, one, what's on the screen right here, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, based on the Dr. Seuss classic, and A Charlie Brown Christmas. Two of my personal favorite Christmas things of all time. Jacob, what says you?
Couldn't agree more. These two specials, they have become a staple of Christmas. First off, my blur thoughts on How the Grinch Stole Christmas. A very simple and beautiful story that's wonderfully animated back for its time, brilliantly scored and extremely heartwarming. And for a Charlie Brown Christmas, just such a warm and entertaining special. This is a special that can be seen over and over again without ever losing its charm or its magic. Same goes with How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is... I love it. I love I feel like the cartoon is probably the best Dr. Seuss adaptation that has ever been aired, in my view. Well, a lot of
I agree.
Usually the animated Dr. Seuss specials are really good. It's the live-action movies that just... they just don't hit the mark, at least in my opinion.
They don't. Even though some of them, I know they're bad, but, I enjoyed them when I was a kid, but yeah, they don't hold a candle on the animated ones.
Yeah, no, and also it's like, have you seen the Jim Carrey version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
Yes, I actually saw that one before the animated one.
Oh, man. While Jim Carrey is actually really good as the Grinch, I don't really like the 2000 version. I just kind of thought it was kind of crass and annoying. It's kind of like the Cat in the Hat movie.
Oh, God.
Little bit. Except not quite as bad.
It's weird. I have a love-hate relationship with the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Yeah, the Who's are kind of creepy to look at, to be honest with you. And
I mean, the Jim Carrey really shines as the Grinch, but now when I go back and watch it, I'm like, yeah, it's not very good.
It's also made by your boy, Ron Howard.
Oh boy, yeah. My Zack Snyder.
Man. I mean, I could talk shit about the 2000 version, but I know there are fans of that movie out there. So, I mean, and hey, if you like the movie, that's fine. Nobody's judging you here. There are movies that are kind of like, I like G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra. Okay, like, judge me all you want for that, in a guilty pleasure way, of course.
I mean, hey, I like Freddy vs. Jason, so anyone can judge me on that.
Have you seen G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra?
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, I love it.
When I was little.
I love it. It is so ridiculous.
Talk about a guilty pleasure.
Oh my god, it is literally a Lego game. I'm not kidding.
Big time.
You know how the Lego games are structured? You know how the old Lego games are structured? Literally, yep. G.I. Joe, you could make it into a Lego game, and it would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. Please do. Actually, just do that. Make a Lego G.I. Joe game. Just watch G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, and there you go.
And then the sequel came out, which was just bad. So...
Yeah, that one was just plain out bad.
Yeah. Ugh. But Rise of Cobra, it is so ridiculous and over the top. I love it. I
Same
love
for
it.
me with Freddy vs. Jason. But yeah. The live action Dr. Seuss films, most of the live action ones, most of them suck. The animated ones, there are a couple that are decent. Like, for me, I enjoyed Horton Hears a Who. The Lorax, it's not very good. But this original How the Grinch Stole Christmas special, a classic.
Oh my god, yes. I love it. I love... It's just so much to love. I think I don't know if I might have gotten rid of it like an idiot. I hope I didn't, because I love it so much. I cannot see my old copy at the moment, but I will say that I watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas a lot when I was a kid. And I also watched A Charlie Brown Christmas, but I kind of want to do it in rows. So let's just talk about How the Grinch Stole Christmas right now, if that's okay with you, Jacob.
Oh, that's totally fine with me.
All right. So How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I watched this a lot when I was a kid. Up there with, like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Though, unlike Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is admittedly a bit dated with time. I mean, some of the animation is a bit wonky. I mean, you know, just saying. I do love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but, you know, the animation does look a little wonky nowadays.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Like, some of it's just like, oh. And, I don't know why Rudolph's voice actor always sounds like he has a nose cold.
I don't get it either.
It sounds like he has a cold. He's like,
it's like, did you have a cold while you were, voice recording?
Yeah, I know. He's just like sitting there like, oh, I guess you don't like my nose either. Oh, wait. Sorry. Shit. Can we go again? You know.
Yep.
But the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas, God, what is there not to love about it? Chuck Jones animated, so it's in the Looney Tunes style. I love the animation. I love how squishy it is. I love how nasty the Grinch is. Just, like, he looks like, ugh, you know? It's just...
Yeah.
I always feel bad for his dog. I love the music.
Max,
The music is just utterly ridiculous.
It really is, but man, I love it.
Oh my gosh, yes. And it's made by and it's also sung by the guy who did the Tony the Tiger for many years.
We did today.
And funnily enough, you know, I always thought it was funny that they got Boris Karloff, Frankenstein himself, as the Grinch, and the narrator of the story.
Suitable enough, I must say.
And he's great. I love him. He's fantastic as the narrator and as the Grinch. He really captures that. I won't pretend that the Grinch is a very complex character. He just hates Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love the Who's. They look they're so pleasant.
They really are.
Unlike the Who's in the movie, who are just kind of annoying and unpleasant.
Creepy.
And kind of creepy to look at.
It's like, this doesn't feel right. But the ones in the special, though, very adorable.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, God, there's just so much to talk about with How the Grinch Stole Christmas is awesome.
Oh, indeed.
Just, I don't know what else to say. What do you think of How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Like, what are your blurb thoughts real quick?
Oh, yes. As I said, I watched the Jim Carrey one before this one, but I actually saw the special in school right around, like, close to Christmas time. They would just show us some Christmas specials. The three were A Charlie Brown Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Then I watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the special, and I was like, man, I loved it. What a great special. One of the greatest Dr. Seuss adaptations. just so much I just want to talk about with this special.
It still holds up nicely. Like, seriously, I rewatched
it. Really does.
Like, I rewatched it, and I was, like, watching people talk about it. Like, the animation still looks great. Like...
Still to this day.
I'm in awe in how they do it. And, you know, we like a lot of animated films on Brit and Jake Go to the Movies. You know, we've been talking about a lot of great animated films this year.
Oh, yes.
I mean, literally, we spent almost 3 hours talking about The Incredibles, so, you know, what are you gonna do? But it's just like, God, you know, it's like watching the Looney Tune cartoons, which is funny to say because the guy, Chuck Jones, who created this cartoon, he created a lot of the old Looney Tunes cartoons. If you didn't know that already. And this is very...
I already knew.
And this is very much like the Looney Tunes. A lot of great visual gags. I don't want to go too much into it till we actually like get into the actual story. But God, I just love it. It's perfect, I think.
Damn near perfect, yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Like, out of all of the Christmas specials that came out in the 60s, I mean, for some reason, they all just came out in the 60s. What was I saying, Jacob? Sorry, my mom was talking to me.
Oh, you were talking about all the Christmas specials that came out in the 60s.
Oh, out of all the Christmas specials that came out in the 60s, I think How the Grinch Stole Christmas is the one that's aged the best. And that's not the diss on any of... this and the one we're about to talk about, which is A Charlie Brown Christmas. But yeah, I think this one is the one that's aged the best.
I couldn't agree more. This and Charlie Brown Christmas, I'd say those two have really aged the best.
Oh yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love the other ones. Like, you know, Frosty I enjoy. I don't enjoy it as much as the other ones. I'm always annoyed by the magician. God, that guy's an idiot. Busy, busy, busy. Shut the fuck up, dude. Like, I wish Santa slapped him. Seriously, he's God. Was that a good impression, by the way?
I've heard better.
Yeah, no, I hate that guy. Ugh. But, I hate that guy. Little Drummer Boy and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer are very good, though, the animation has aged a little. But yeah, this one and Charlie Brown Christmas, again, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. This one is probably aged the best.
Oh yes, from its animation, from its musical, the musical parts of it really hold up, and the music in this special to this day still iconic, and I just love it.
Oh my gosh, I mean, I like how goofy as hell it is, and they're just running with it. They're like, yeah, what are you gonna do? We can make it more serious, but yeah. It's also very childlike in its approach. It's very simple stories, so, you know, that's all they got to do. And they pretty much adapt the book verbatim, because I actually reread the book again. I found it on the internet. Please don't arrest me. But, yeah, pretty much adapts the book pretty nicely, but the way it adapts it is just great. I enjoy it.
Oh, yes. I actually did have the book. I actually did read the book before watching the Jim Carrey one. And I was like, oh, this is a nice book. I read a lot of Dr. Seuss books when I was little.
Well, yeah, I did. I think a lot of us did.
Most of us.
I got in trouble.
And I'm sorry.
I got in trouble once for drawing in a Dr. Seuss book.
I would do that, too. I got away with it. I was very sneaky. I was very smart about it.
Yeah, my first grade teacher's like, Britton Summers, did you do this? And I was so sad about it.
No, it just came up like this. Sure.
But yeah, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. keep a long story short, I really enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. It's very moving, unexpectedly.
Indeed.
Well, do you think unexpectedly is a good word? But I think it's very touching.
I say suitable, unexpectedly moving.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get into this animated special, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, a fantastic, man. So, we start with a nice little intro, and then we hear Boris Karloff, Frankenstein himself, which I actually think is a very inspired choice for who narrated it. And he starts out, and we end up seeing the Who's first, and they are celebrating, they're having a good time, and they're preparing for Christmas, and man, they love Christmas. They got all their stuff together, and it's awesome, and they go around in a circle, and they sing, and it's really beautiful. I'm probably skipping over some bits, but that's basically the gist of it. And man, I love the Who's in this. What do you think, Jacob?
The Who's in this are extremely adorable, and beautiful voices as well. When they sing, I just want to sing along with them, you know what I mean?
I don't even know what the hell they're singing, but, I want to sing, too.
it just sounds nice. I'm like, what are you guys singing exactly? But, it sounds nice, so.
Knowing Dr. Seuss, it's probably just gibberish. But then we end up panning up the mountain, and then we meet the Grinch. Boom, boom. And he hated Christmas. And I love, what do you think about the Grinch's design? I'll let you go before I gush over it.
He looks extremely, he definitely looks like a Grinch, if that makes sense.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, he looks like a Grinch, and he looks very creepy in a way, and very disgusting looking. Yeah, disgusting in a way like, oh, you can tell this guy really hates Christmas.
Yeah, you're like, that guy's gotta be evil. This guy's gross.
He looks miserable.
I love how he has the toothpick in his mouth. He just plinks it off and just eats it. 'Cause why not?
Yeah, why the hell not?
I love it. I just love how nasty and squishy. He probably smells bad, too. You can just tell from his look.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you better stay away from him.
I mean, hell, he probably smells bad, too, so.
Everything about him just screams just, like, nasty and just like, oh, this guy hates everything.
Yeah, I love how crooked his teeth is. I like the little pudge, the little tub that he has in his stomach. Oh my god.
His design's still iconic to this day.
Oh my gosh. Like, apparently, in the original story, it's like black and white, except his eyes are red. And he looks a little more slender. But they decided to make him green because it's like, well, that's a Christmas color, isn't it?
Suitable enough.
Yeah. He's like, and I love how he just goes, Christmas is coming. It's practically here. He's like, I must stop Curtis. And then we meet his dog, Max, the poor dog. What do you think of Max?
That poor little thing. He's having to deal with the Grinch. It's not even his pet. When we first meet him, it's his slave.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah, I also love when he goes, no one quite knew why the Grinch hated Christmas. Maybe it's because his shoes were on too tight. I love how the Grinch, almost like he can hear the narration, like uses his shoes. And then he goes, maybe it's because his head was screwed on too, wasn't screwed on just right. And he like screws his head, he turns it around, and then he's like, but I think it's because his heart was 2 sizes too small. And it's like this tiny, little, shriveled heart.
Realistically, I'm surprised he's still alive for that tiny heart.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's animation. What are you going to do? It's like animation. You can pretty much do whatever.
Yeah, do whatever you want, so.
And I love... Oh, God. But yeah, the Grinch hates Christmas. He hates the Who's. We're never really told why. And the narrator just kind of goes, we don't either. Just have to deal with it.
Yeah,
yep.
I kind of like that it's a mystery on why he hates Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah, for some well, he does explain it a little bit. To one of my favorite parts of the story is every time I see this now, I think of the South Park episode where Cartman gets the amusement park. He's so, and he goes off about the lines, which is basically a parody of this. And in this, he's just, I guess he just doesn't like the Who's. He's basically resentful of the fact that they're happy and he's not, because he's just a miserable bastard.
He is. No one deserves to be happy, so everyone should be miserable.
You know, when you think about it, you just kind of think about it, you're like, you know, this guy is such a petty ass that he decides that he's just gonna make them just as miserable as he is.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's so, pessimistic about every single thing. He's just a miserable creature.
Oh my god. And
I hate everything jolly and happy.
Yeah, he hates it. He hates all the noise, and you can see the drum sticks hitting his head, and he just I love the animation, how they describe it. It's just, oh my god. What do you think of this, Jacob?
I love it. The animation still to this day holds up, and the same people that did the Looney Tunes, which you can definitely tell.
Oh my god,
definitely
yes.
Looks like a Looney Tunes special if it were in a Looney Tunes universe.
Oh, especially as we get to the part where, especially when we get to the part when he gets down to the Whoville. Oh yeah, definitely Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, very.
And then the Grinch is like, I must stop Christmas from coming. But how? And I love his teeth. All of his teeth are ugly and crooked, and again, probably smells bad. Oh, I love it.
Everything about the Grinch just screams nasty.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
So good.
I love it. And, oh yeah, it gets even better. When, he sees Max dicking around in his stuff, and he gets out and he kind of looks like Santa Claus. I love his smile. It's one of my favorite gifs that I love to use when he does that smile, and it just creeps up his face. And then, oh, it gets even better. Then his ears smile too. It's, oh, God. I love it.
Talk about the most, I have an evil plan ever.
It's definitely evil. That's one of those where you can point at and go, oh, yeah, that's definitely evil.
Big time. Oh, man.
Oh my god. He had a wonderful, awful idea. And then we get the first You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, which is sung not by James Earl Jones that I used to think it was. It's by a guy called Thurl Ravenscroft, who is well known for being Tony the Tiger. Which I didn't know that till God damn, I got the hiccups all of a sudden.
I didn't know that until now.
Yeah, no. You know, speaking of something that I didn't know until, I just recently rewatched this, But I'll save that for... It's actually later in the story. Then we get the first song. What do you think of the songs in this?
All the songs are extremely iconic. When you hear them, you're like, oh yeah, this is from the Grinch special. Like, obviously, You're a Being One, Mr. Grinch is just so memorable. It's just so iconic. And all the songs in this are catchy, too.
Oh, yeah. I love how ridiculous they are. Just all the words. None of it makes any sense at all, but it's kind of like, you know what? I'll deal with this.
Yeah, I'm like, doesn't make sense. The lyrics make absolutely no sense, but it sounds great. So
they're basically just roasting the Grinch. and it makes you wonder, with all this stuff that this Grinch has, it makes you wonder, what does the Grinch do? Like, as a career.
Mm-hmm. What does he do exactly?
Like, did the Who's know? Like, well, okay, I guess the Who's do know about him, but like, does he like? Do the Who's like try to be nice to him, and he's all like, "Meh, no." Who knows? Now they try to expand on this in the 2000 movie, but,
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't work as well as you would think.
No.
So basically, the Grinch disguises himself as Santa Claus and decides, you know what? If I'm going to be a miserable ass on my mountain, everyone else is going to be, because I hate this. And, which, you know, you're just like, how the hell does this guy hate Christmas? Christmas is awesome. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and yeah, you're just like, yeah, fuck Christmas.
Yeah, no, he just hates all the noise. That's it.
I hate all the noise. Christmas must die.
Noise. Ugh. Yeah, when he says that, you kind of get a headache. You're like, oh, yeah, I guess I can see how he feels.
Yeah.
And I love how during the song, like, the dog is, like, holding the mirror in its mouth, and it pulls over, and he gets all mad. He pulls him back.
Oh, poor Max.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Talk about just wooby. Max is just, oh my lord. Like, I love when he gets him the antler, and he, like, falls down like he's a, what are those things in science classes? The measurers. The one that goes down, it's like that. Oh my gosh. And then they cut it, and he's like, alright, that'll do.
Animal abuse.
Yeah, no. This is awful, but it's just, jeez. Then we get to the, really Looney Tunes part of this special, which is when he goes down the mountain so he can go steal Christmas from everybody. And it's great. I love it. It is literally a Looney Tunes cartoon. This is where their Looney Tunes skills come into play. Jacob, what do you think about this?
Oh yes, it's Looney Tuny in all the best ways, and it works very well, especially for this particular scene, in my opinion, at least.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, he goes whip, whoosh, and he goes nah, and I like how the dog I like how the dog goes underneath the thing and he goes backwards, and it then he comes back, waves at him, and then he pulls him back up into the front. Oh, jeez. Do you have any favorite parts of this, of the chase down the mountain?
Can't remember at this moment, sorry.
Aw. Aw. It's okay. I'm gonna go real quick. You take over real quick. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Can't remember exactly where we're at. Oh yes. This is where the Grinch decides to steal everyone's Christmas stuff. And he wants to steal every little thing. obviously decorations. He obviously wants to steal their food, including Who ham, and he'll even steal like the smallest bit of crumb. And this just shows how
that monster. He stole the Who ham.
He stole the Who ham.
All right, he has to be hanged for this crime.
He wants to steal every little thing, including the tiniest bit, the littlest crumb ever.
Yeah, he steals the crumbs too. I love how he takes the ice cubes. He slithers around the wall or the floor. It's like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Everything, every single
everything.
Thing. Not even. It's not even like the Christmas stuff. He'll steal their food if he has to.
He steals the food, the knickknacks. He'll steal the he steals everything. He is the best burglar of all time.
Oh, indeed.
This
fuck
dude
Christmas, but I'm gonna steal your food so you guys can starve to death.
He's like, fuck all of you bitches. I am taking everything.
Every single thing. Just shows how evil and just nasty the Grinch is.
Oh my god.
Just shows how much he hates Christmas.
I love when he's scooting through the roof or through the chimney. He almost gets stuck, but then he manages to get himself out. Oh,
so funny.
We get another Mr. Grinch song, and he's just stealing everything. I love it. He steals the ice cubes. He took the Who ham. You're like, oh, that monster. He took the Who ham.
How could you take the Who ham?
Oh. The Who ham. No. It's, but yeah. Yeah, I love the ladder as well. He gets up there. But no, he literally steals everything. Just, oh my god. He's a dick. He steals everything, and then he ends up meeting, little Cindy Lou who is played by June Foray, and, just talk about adorable. You just want to pinch those little cheeks. And even the Grinch is aw, little bit.
Yeah.
Even though he literally
if the Grinch is essentially saying like, yeah, this kid's cute, then that's saying a lot.
And then he go. She's like, well, why are you stealing the Christmas tree? Why? And he basically makes up a lie about, something's up with it, and I'm gonna take it, fix it, and bring it back.
Yeah. The narrator's like, but the Grinch is very smart and very careful, and he thought of the nastiest lie ever. He's like, oh, my sweet little child. One of the lights is not working on the tree, so I'm going to take it back to my workshop.
Fix it. Oh, man.
Nasty Grinch, you.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, I love when he's on the roof and he's, like, tapping his fingers on the chimney. He is so just like, I'm gonna steal from all these innocent people.
He's, like, so excited to just steal their Christmas. He's like, oh, boy, let's get ready.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. So then the Grinch ends up, he ends up planning on dumping the bags down the mountain, because, that's, because he's like, you know what, screw these guys, I'm just gonna do that.
Why the hell not?
Because why the hell not, because he's a bastard, and, trying to find some quotes here. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, he goes back up the mountain, and he's about to dump the bags, and he's all excited. He's like, well, they're about to get up, and I know just what they'll do. They'll come down and get sad and go boo, hoo, hoo. And then And I love how he picks up the dog's face, and everything's so squishy in this, like, oh.
Very.
And he's like dropping the dog's mouth, and then he I love how he's like he puts his ear to the he puts his ear to the mountain. And but then the Who's end up coming out, and just surprisingly, well, wait a minute, they're not sad, and they start singing happily, like they didn't just totally get robbed by they totally just didn't get robbed. And I love how the light they create like a little light. Which I also laugh because it's like, geez, think if this was a horror movie. Oh my god!
Oh boy!
Just put a little, like, put like some ominous music, and it would be a horror movie. Oh jeez. It's like I love how it goes. Well, and it's like, that didn't sound mad. That didn't sound sad. That sounded kind of glad. And then I like how the Grinch is just standing there, and he's just so baffled by how all of them are still happy, even though he literally just stole everything.
I stole your stuff.
He's like, it came without buttons. It came without bags. He's like, it came without buttons or boxes or bags. Or no, it says, it came without ribbons. It came without tags. And he looks up, and he goes, and it came without packages, boxes, or bags. Now we'll get to the point where this is something I didn't notice till just recently. I never noticed that when his heart starts to warm, his eyes go from red to blue. Never noticed that.
Nice little detail there.
And then I love how he's distracted being touched by the Who's kindness. Then the Christmas stuff starts to slip up, and he starts going, oh crap, and then he tries to pull it back up. And then we get one of the greatest animated moments of all time, one of the greatest faces in animated history, when he says, but that day, the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day, and then it bounces out. I love his face. It's just the biggest, like, dumb grin of all time. Oh,
for real.
I love it.
Oh, me too.
Oh man, I love it. He's so happy. And then he finds the strength of 10 Grinches, and he ends up pulling it up, and it's a big celebration. I love the music. It's super triumphant.
It is. Couldn't agree more.
And then we get the ending. He saves the sleigh, and he ends up returning the presents back to the other belongings to the Who's. And he ends up joining in on the town's Christmas celebration. And guess what? He's the one who carves the Who ham. And Max gets the first slice.
Yay.
And that is the end of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the 1966 version.
still holds up to this day.
Oh my god, amazing! It's so I forgot to mention. It's so touching when he finally realizes. Oh wait, maybe Christmas isn't just about the goods. Maybe it's a little bit more.
I love it.
But yeah, I love how the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's just so good.
Oh yes, everything holds up. The animation, the voice acting, the musical parts. While I don't understand what the fuck they were saying or what the lyrics are, it's just beautiful to listen to.
Yeah, it's like the lyrics are utterly bizarre, but I really enjoy it. So, good job, guys.
And you're the mean one, and you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Extremely catchy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, it's an earworm, all right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I love how the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's one of my favorite Christmas things of all time. And still one of my favorite, probably my favorite of the animated. Well, actually, no. The one right after is my favorite Christmas special of all time. This is just my second favorite.
Oh yes, one of the greatest Christmas things ever to watch around the holidays. One of the greatest Dr. Seuss adaptations ever. I just love it.
Yeah, it's required watching during this Christmas season.
Indeed.
It's short and it's pretty to the point, but man, it gets its point across very nicely.
Less is more.
Hopefully I can get, I have a friend named Josh who's a big Dr. Seuss fan, and hopefully I can get his, I'm hoping for this episode I can get him talking about why this story is so impactful. So hopefully I can put that in the video, but we'll see. That's all I'll say about it.
In my opinion, what makes The Grinch such an awesome story is nothing to do with how evil the Grinch looks, although I think that's awesome. I love the facials and stuff Seuss does in the story, but what the story is ultimately about is how kindness can actually make even the meanest, most heartless individual suddenly very human and loving and compassionate, and that maybe, just maybe, the world would be just a better place if we were kinder to each other. That is the true moral of The Grinch that stole Christmas, right? A kind word saved him, and maybe a kind word can save us all. I think that's a good thought for the holiday. What do you think?
But yeah, so so that is it for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I love it. How about you, Jacob?
Oh yeah, it's a must-watch around Christmas time. Still iconic. It's become a staple to Christmas. The Grinch has become a staple to Christmas. One of the most iconic characters ever. Just love everything about it.
And the animation still holds up really nicely.
Indeed, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Just a great special.
And now we shall move on to the next show that we're talking about. Dun dun dun! Charlie Brown Christmas. Well,
Yeah.
I say dun dun dun, but it's great. Now, while I said that, I bet you're wondering, well, you said The Grinch is your second favorite. Which one is your favorite? A Charlie Brown Christmas is my favorite Christmas animated special of all time. I love it.
It might be my favorite special, too.
Oh my god. Man, what is there to say about A Charlie Brown Christmas? It's just it's just...
Quite a bit.
It's such a moving thing,
Mm-hmm. It really is.
And,
so heartwarming, just refreshingly genuine. Oh, man.
I love the music. Oh my god. The
Oh,
music?
I love it.
Oh my god. I love it. I love the Peanuts growing up, and I still have a lot of appreciation for the Peanuts myself. And that's probably because I really felt a lot for Charlie Brown. He just got shat on a lot for no reason. He's a perfectly nice kid. Nobody likes him for whatever reason. And this is a very relatable story of a kid who's kind of depressed during the holidays. Now, I have depression myself, and it often likes to hit during the wintertime because seasonal depression is a thing. And this one's always very cathartic for me, personally.
Oh, yeah. I grew up with the Peanuts growing up as well. I would watch the Charlie Brown specials, like Charlie Brown Christmas, The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, or Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Charlie Brown, the character I can relate to, because I have depression as well, so I can relate to Charlie Brown as a character. Because, like, yeah, he's getting shat on a lot, even though, like, he's a perfectly nice, he's a nice kid. I'm like, he doesn't deserve all this shit being shat on him. And so, Charlie Brown Christmas, it means a lot to me. It's one that it's one that I must watch around Christmas time, like at least once, because man, I love it.
But yeah, I love it. And can I just say the music is, again, just the music is amazing in this.
Oh yeah, that's the cherry on top, I must say.
I
love the
love
music in this.
It's just lovely.
Indeed. This is a special that speaks to all ages. The adorable cartoon mimics the Loey tree and its powerful simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
With How to Grinch Stole Christmas and Charlie Brown Christmas, very simple to the point, but they work.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And this one actually came out a year before How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Man, they were really into making Christmas specials back in the 60s.
I know. A lot of specials came out in the 60s, man.
But yeah, no, this actually came out a year later, December 18th, 1966, and this came out December 9th, 1965. So, a couple weeks before my aunt was born. But yeah, I love this. There's some people who might not like it, and you're just wrong. That's all I'll say about that. I mean, how can anyone not like this? It's amazing.
I know. If it doesn't, like, tug at your heartstrings away or moves you, then you're no worse than the Grinch.
But no, seriously, I love A Charlie Brown Christmas. It is easily my favorite of their specials, and it's very beloved by many other people who aren't me for very good reason. What do you think of A Charlie Brown Christmas?
Such a poignant and relatable special, and it provides an appealing lesson about the true meaning of Christmas. I just love everything about it. It's a must-watch for me around the holidays, at least once. I think it's might be my favorite Christmas special as well.
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's one of my favorite just short films, really. I think is the best way to describe it. I love the characters. I love the animation. I love Snoopy. I love it.
How can you not love Snoopy?
I mean, yeah, I know. How can you not love Snoopy? Snoopy is the best. Snoopy, he'll just kill you. He'll kill you. He'll just beat you and crush you. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wish I had a wacky dog who built his Christmas house and pretended to be the Red Baron. But you know, can't always get what you want. But I do enjoy Snoopy quite a bit. I love A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh yes, so do I.
So, let's get into this. We end up starting this with a very lovely. Again, the music, man. Oh, just
Christmas
oh my god.
time is here.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Vince Guaraldi, the late great Vince Guaraldi. Man, what an amazing composer.
Indeed. like just pat yourself on the back with the music in this special because oh man.
But yeah, it captures the whimsy of Christmas very well. Like all the kids are just skating around, and it captures the whimsy of Christmas. But there's almost that tinge of sadness there as well, and it just perfectly captures the tone of this special.
It really does.
I love it. I really do. It's a beautiful opening. What do you think of this, Jacob?
It's an extremely beautiful opening. It's so jolly and honestly kind of relaxing to watch. Like I can just wrap myself in a blanket and just be relaxed by the opening. But I also get a sense of okay, feels kind of sad at the same time, if you know what I mean.
But don't worry, Snoopy ends up showing up, and he ends up dragging all the kids around, and they end up, he ends up accidentally throwing all the kids away, or he ends up launching all of them into different directions. I guess he doesn't like when Charlie Brown is, I guess he doesn't like when Charlie Brown is there, because he just grabs him and Linus, throws him around, and it just throws him into the, into a, tree.
It's like, oh, man, come on.
Yeah, it just gives you the idea, Charlie Brown is kind of just the town's, wet rag, if you will.
Yeah. Their punching bag, essentially.
Yeah, he just, oh, jeez. And we end up starting with Charlie Brown and his friend Linus. And Linus is actually my favorite of the Charlie Brown characters. I don't know about you, Jacob.
Can't think of my favorite, but Linus is definitely one of them. And I can relate to him, having his blanket because I have some things of my own that comfort me, so...
Yeah, I like how he's both the most mature out of all of them, but he's also the most childlike out of all of them.
I know.
It's really
both ways with Linus.
It's really weird. That's I like that irony about Linus, and it makes him interesting.
I know, when he needs to give someone advice, he'll give it to them. But if you take his blanket away, he'll just start whining like a little child.
Yeah, start whining. And he sucks on his thumb, which is even better.
Yes. While he's holding this blanket. Oh, I love it.
Oh, my lord. I love, but I love how Linus is just a good friend to Charlie Brown. I love how Charlie Brown says, I know Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy.
And I should be happy because it's Christmas.
And I like how Linus basically tells him to get his head out of his ass, and it's Christmas, in the most lovingly way possible for as much as.
I love when he says, "Out of all the Charlie Browns in the world, you're the Charlie Browniest."
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. And he's like, yeah, out of all the Charlie Brown, all the Charlie Brown people who I've come across in the world, you're the Charlie Browniest. I love how he just goes, I just don't understand Christmas, I guess. I mean, I like getting presents and sending Christmas cards and decorating trees and all that, but I'm not happy. I'm still not happy.
Poor Charlie.
Yeah.
It's I should feel happy because it's Christmas, and Christmas, you should feel jolly and happy, but I just don't.
Yeah, I know. He also says, Charlie Brown, you're the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem.
I don't know why. I laugh every time when Maya says that to him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, Lucy's also great in this. Lucy's also great. So, he ends up going back to his car. I like how he goes to his mailbox. Goes, "Hello in there, rats." Then he goes over to one of the chicks, Violet. He's like, "Hey, I appreciate the Christmas card that you sent me." Violet, super sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek. She goes, "I didn't send you nothing, Charlie Brown." He's like, well, she walked past him and he goes, "You ever heard sarcasm once in a while?"
Don't you know sarcasm when you hear it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it.
It's like, hey, thanks for the Christmas card you sent me.
You dumb bitch. And she just goes, "Fuck you, I didn't send nothing." So then he goes to Lucy's psychiatric booth for 5 cents, of course.
Yep.
And he just goes, "You know, I like all the Christmas stuff, but I'm not happy for some reason." And, you know, Lucy is fun, or, well, maybe not fun, but Lucy's kind of odd, because she'll like... She doesn't like Charlie Brown, but she also kind of likes him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a bipolar thing with Lucy, with Charlie Brown.
She's, like, yeah, she's kind of control freakish, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you know, I kind of like you, but at the same time, I'm still gonna, take the football away from you.
She always takes the football. Hey, we're not talking about Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
It's an iconic scene, so I get an excuse for that. But yeah, with Lucy, so it's a weird relationship between her and Charlie Brown.
But yeah, I love how she goes. I love how she actually tries to like empathize with him, and she goes, "You know, incidentally, I know how you feel about this Christmas business, you know, getting depressed and all that. Happens to me every year, you know? I never really get what I want, you know? I always get a lot of stupid toys or a bicycle or clothes or something like that." And Charlie Brown just goes, "Well, what is it that you want?" "Real estate." I also love how she starts listing off, I love how she starts listing off all these phobias. He's like, I don't, and Charlie Brown's just like, "I don't know if that's it." And then she goes, "Well, maybe you have pantophobia." And he's like, "Well, what's pantophobia?" "The fear of everything." That's it!
How about cats? If you're afraid of cats, you have whatever it's called. Well, sort of, but I'm not sure. So, are you afraid of staircases?
Wait, what'd you say?
Oh, Lucy says, "Are you afraid of staircases?"
Oh,
if
yeah.
you are, you have climaphobia.
Oh, yeah. She starts listing off all these phobias, and she goes, pantophobia. He's like, "What the hell's pantophobia?" "The fear of everything." That's it! And she, like, flies off the chair. And she ends up suggesting, "Hey, maybe you should direct the animal Christmas play so you can, like, you know, get involved and stop being a sad sack." And he goes, "You know, good idea." So then he goes home, and he's even more disappointed when he comes home and he sees Snoopy's decorating his doghouse for a competition. He's like, "Oh no, my dog's gone commercial." And the dog's like eating, and I love how Snoopy just eats the bones like they're like, I don't know, a snack. Oh, great. And I love how Sally comes up and starts asking him a letter. She wants him to write a letter to Santa Claus, and basically all she asks for is a bunch of money. It's like, "This wouldn't be so hard if you weren't so wishy-washy." You know, like she goes, "All I want is what I have coming to me. All I want is my fair share." And Charlie Brown's just like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
She writes a letter to Santa. It's like, hey Santa, how have you been? Did you have a nice summer? How's your wife? I've been extra good this year, so I have a long list of presents I want. And Charlie Brown is like, oh brother.
He's just like, oh Jesus Christ. But I love how casual she is. She's just asking him how he's doing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Yeah, so Charlie Brown ends up going to rehearsal, and everyone is just dancing around, and we end up seeing the iconic. They're playing the theme, and everyone's dancing around and having a good time.
Yeah.
What do you think of the music and dance scene?
Oh, you can't go wrong with the iconic music, and Charlie Brown. It's just like, when you hear it, you're like, yeah, that's Charlie Brown.
Yeah, and everyone's like, all right, hold. I love how he's trying to take control of the situation, and everyone's just like, yeah, whatever, idiot.
But yeah, we're not listening.
They're like, yeah, whatever, idiot. And I love how, again, going back to Linus's thing, he's the most mature out of all of them, but he's also the most childlike. And Lucy just can't stand the fact that he has his blanket. She's like, well, you can't go around with that stupid blanket around. What are you going to do when you get older? And he's all like, when you're all grown up. He's like, well, maybe I'll turn it into a sports coat. She gets all pissed off.
What are you going to do with it when you grow up? Maybe I'll make it to a sports coat.
I also love her crush on Schrodinger, who's the piano player. Who really loves Beethoven, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And one of my favorite just like little scenes is when he starts playing the piano and Lucy's just sitting there, and then Snoopy just starts dancing around, and they notice him, and they get angry and stare at him, and he just goes, okay.
They're like, excuse us.
Yeah, and then there's the old presents for pretty girls. And then he gets all pissed off, and he starts doing Jingle Bells with the single key. And right as he's about to get to it, she goes, "That's it!"
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God, I forget the whole quote. I like when Snoopy kisses her, or, licks her, and she's like, I've been kissed by a dog! Get some hot water, get some disinfectant! And then Snoopy just goes, yeah! So, Charlie Brown gets super annoyed that everyone's not following his directions and just goes, okay, guys, we need a Christmas tree. Lucy just goes, you know what, why don't you get a pink aluminum tree? You and Linus go get it. And he's like, fine. So they end up going, and I love the animation. It's so pretty. And they're walking around, and Charlie Brown doesn't really like all the fake trees. So he decides to get this really small tree that looks all rinky-dink. And I love how all the when the leaves fall off, it goes...
Yeah, Charlie Brown, says, this little green one here seems to need a home. Then Linus says, I don't know, Charlie Brown. Remember what Lucy said? This doesn't seem to fit the modern spirit. But Charlie Brown's like, I don't care. We'll decorate it, and it'll just be right for our play. Besides, I think it needs me.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. I love that. It's I love Charlie Brown.
I know. I love the fact that in this scene where he gets the tree, he's not very super traditional, not wanting to get a typical tree. I'll get this one where the leaves are falling off, and
And
what makes Charlie Brown lovable.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't care about commercialism or anything like that. He just wants to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to be happy. Damn it.
Yeah, and this tree's getting will make him happy.
They end up returning, and then Lucy and the others look at that tree and like, what the hell is this? Yes. She's like, I told you to get a tree, Charlie Brown, not a thing that looks like it's gonna die. And then they end up just laughing at him, and oh man, that's heartbreaking.
I'm like, damn. This is why Charlie Brown is one of the most relatable fictional characters ever.
Yeah, it's, oh god, it still tears me up inside. It still tears me up inside to this day.
Same here.
When they all laugh at him and he just is really sad and he leaves. Or no, he doesn't leave. He just kind of goes around and goes, it's like, Christmas can't just be about this. Can anyone please tell me what Christmas is all about? And then Linus just goes, well, Charlie Brown, I'll tell you what Christmas is all about. And in one of the most iconic scenes in Christmas film history, he walks up and tells the story of when the shepherds were approached by the angel and is told that, he's like, I bring great news of great joy. A son has been born in Bethlehem, the city of David. And his name is Jesus. And, I mean, I don't know what anyone thinks about, religion or anything like that, but I just really love that scene. And then he just goes and says, that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
Preach it, Linus.
Hell yeah. So he ends up realizing that he doesn't want commercialism to ruin his own Christmas. He basically just goes, you know what? Fuck these guys. I'm gonna take this home, decorate it, and I'm gonna show all the others that it is gonna work in display. So he ends up stopping at Snoopy's doghouse, which actually won the lights and display contest. And he just looks and just goes, oh, brother. So then he ends up getting a big, large red Christmas ball, and he puts it on the tree, and then it ends up tiny. Then it ends up bending the tiny tree to the ground, and he goes, oh, I've killed it. Oh, everything I touch gets ruined, and he just runs, and he's just saddened and goes away. And that's just another one that's just really sad.
I know. Man, Charlie Brown.
Man, he gets shit on a lot.
I know. It's like, cut this innocent kid some slack.
The others,
once.
The others end up realizing, hey, maybe we were a bit too hard on Charlie Brown. They end up following him back, but as they all start to see its potential, I love how Linus just goes, it doesn't look like I never thought it looked like such a bad little tree. I think all it needed was a little love. And then they end up giving the tree a makeover, and it actually turns into a pretty cute Christmas tree. And then they start humming Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and Charlie Brown ends up coming out and goes, what's going on? And I love how he does the double take. He just goes, oh? Oh, what is this? What do you think of this scene?
Oh, I love it. When Charlie Brown's like, oh, everything I touch is ruined. And then the kids come back and they help Charlie Brown out and just want to give him a good Christmas and just give his tree a complete makeover. And it just needs a little bit of love. That's all. It's not a bad tree. And then they all wish him a Merry Christmas and they all sing along. Oh, it's just so happy. It's satisfying.
The kids go, Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown! And they start singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And Charlie Brown ends up joining in as the snow begins to fall, and that's the end of the movie. Man, I love this ending. It's just, such a beautiful thing.
It is. Man, I love a Charlie Brown Christmas. Everything about it is just like become a staple of the holidays. It's a very simple story and a very important message about the true meaning of Christmas. And, of course, the music. Oh, man. Mwah.
Oh, my gosh. I love
just
the
love
music.
this special.
I love
everything about this special.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. And it's also sad because Peter Robbins, the guy who played Charlie Brown, actually died earlier this year, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was quite sad. He had a bunch of legal problems, and it was just, yeah, it was just bad. But what do you think of, like, what are your closing thoughts on A Charlie Brown Christmas?
I love it. After talking about it, yeah, it's my favorite Christmas special as well. And how can you not love the Peanuts? How can you not love Charlie Brown? And how can you not love this Christmas special? It's a must-watch around Christmas time, at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just love this special.
And Bill Melendez did a great job. He did a great job making this, and the animation is naturalistic, but it also isn't afraid to go in that kind of weird, wacky stuff that you would that you'd see from animation. Charles M. Schultz's script is just fantastic, and I love the Peanuts, and this is probably my favorite Peanuts thing that has ever been done, and my favorite Christmas special of all time.
Oh yes, mine too. Definitely one of my favorite Christmas things of all time. Definitely one I watch at least once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I just love everything about it.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's just great. It reminds me why I love Christmas. I mean, there's the Christian stuff, and there's some people who might go like, yeah, but I don't care about that. Christmas is about togetherness and joy and all that fun stuff. These two Christmas specials are really for me, they're some of my favorites because this is why Christmas matters.
Exactly.
Or at least, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Oh, I couldn't agree more on that.
But yeah, I love A Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a fantastic animation. I love it.
Indeed.
And it's great. I love it.
Oh, me too. I love Charlie Brown Christmas. Still holds up to this day.
Oh, most definitely it does.
Everything about it. It's extremely relatable. Extremely simple story, but it's impactful, and it just works. Less is more.
Oh yeah, most definitely. These two I find really capture what makes Christmas so great, and there's not really much else I can say about it.
I've said everything I said about Charlie Brown Christmas. I just love it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, I guess we have some time a little bit. Have you seen anything recently, Jacob?
Two things, but I need you to promise me to not say anything.
Okay, what did you see?
Okay. Okay. Oh boy. So, I rewatched Avatar because I've only seen it once. So I'm like, okay, let me rewatch it. Let me see if it's overrated or maybe it's decent. I'll just say this. I didn't finish it. I think that says a lot.
I was about to say, the new movie came out, and I was going to rant about that, but,
But, just to excuse myself, I've only seen the first one once, so I wanted to revisit it. And I was like, yeah, I didn't, as I said, I didn't finish it. I think that says a lot, so I'm not going to say anything else on that. I was like, okay, I tried to get through it. I just can't. I can't. I didn't finish it, as I said. So, and then I saw Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, God.
Yesterday. Yes, just hold on. Bear with me. saw it in IMAX, and seeing it in theaters, obviously the experience will be different in theaters, and it was definitely a theater experience. But I will say, I was more entertained by it than the first one.
Oh.
It's like, okay, I was actually more engaged by the second one. Now the story, it's essentially a rehash of the first one, but I felt like it was done better. I'm not saying it's not the best movie of this year, one of the greatest movies of all time, but I was more entertained by it and more engaged by it than the first one. The first one, when I rewatched it, I'm like, I tried to get into it, but I just can't. The story is so unoriginal, so predictable and cliched, and I do not give a shit about any of the fucking characters in this film. I don't remember any of their fucking names. I just can't finish it. It's overrated, and it still is. And I will never forgive James Cameron for deciding to be petty and just re-releasing it in China and taking it back. And it does not deserve to be a highest-grossing film ever, because, man, it's so bland. So there you go.
Huh. All right. Now, me, being the petty asshole that I am, I did not go to see, I did not go see Avatar: The Way of the Water, and I don't plan on it. Still not going to, because Avatar was so offensive to me as just a story.
I can see why after rewatching it.
It's,
as I said, I didn't finish it.
You did. I can't believe you didn't finish it. Oh God.
I tried to, but I was just like, I can't go through this thing.
But yeah, not gonna see it. But you know what I do want to see? I want to see Babylon, and I do hope to see. I do hope to see Everything Everywhere All at Once before this year is over, because I've heard that movie is great. Everybody I know is like, bruh, this movie's awesome. And I'm like, all right, calm down, everybody.
Still my favorite film of this year so far.
Mine is The Batman so far, but, we'll see.
There are at least three films I want to see before the year ends. Babylon, because Damien Chazelle coming out of his hibernation. The Menu looks like a lot of fun. And Steven Spielberg's new film, The Fabelmans.
Yeah, those look good.
But Babylon, I've heard mixed things about it. People are saying, like, oh, it's such an exhausting film because, a lot's happening. But I'm like, hey, it's Damien Chazelle. He made Whiplash, one of my favorite movies of all time. He also made La La Land, which I thought was pretty damn great. Will admit, wasn't the biggest fan of First Man, but I want to check out Babylon before the year ends.
I would like that as well.
And also, it's nice to see Tobey Maguire come out of hibernation, and being in movies again.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to say that. I'm like, where have you been at? You were in No Way Home, which was awesome, but I'd like to see you in more stuff that's not superhero related. And you also got Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. Yes. So definitely want to see it before the year ends.
Indeed. But yeah, Christmas is next week, man. Or it's this upcoming week. That's ridiculous. I'm just... Oh.
I know. Man, flew by quick.
I know. It's a weird month, man. It's gone by so quickly. And,
it really has.
There's not really much else for me to say. I'm not saying Avatar: Way of Water, so, don't harass me. I did see it. Our mutual friend Raymond posted a review. It was like, yeah, it kind of sucked. And I was like, yeah, well, I knew that was didn't know that was gonna happen. But no, I hate it. I hate Avatar.
Yeah. The first Avatar sucks ass.
Oh my god. I don't even want to talk about Avatar.
We're going to one day.
Oh god.
Just watch me just creep up and say, like, we're going to talk about your favorite movie of all time. No, it's not A Clockwork Orange. It's Avatar.
It's like I'm just gonna rip into it. Really, it's just like, good God. I have to agree with Raymond. Imagine all the movies that James Cameron could have been making instead of wasting his time on a mid-tier effort.
Yeah. Even Chris Stuckman, which he did a review of the second one, he's like, yeah, I'm disappointed that James Cameron just put all of his focus on the Avatar universe instead of making other movies. Which, like, yeah, James Cameron, make more movies that isn't Avatar. Because you're great at making good movies. First 2 Terminator films, Aliens. I haven't seen Titanic, but, you know, True Lies is pretty good. So, like, yeah, all this time you could have been making more original movies. But no, you decided to just stick with the Avatar universe. Oh, James Cameron.
Indeed. Oh, man. Oh. God, I hate Avatar. It's, Tig was talking to me the other day, and he was like, we gotta, one day I'll come on, and I'll see if I can convince you that Sucker Punch is a good movie. And I'm like, ha! Good luck with that. Probably not going to.
We'll bring Tig on, we'll bring Carlton on.
Yeah.
It'll be a bloodbath.
Oh my God, it's gonna be a bloodbath, yeah. It's gonna be a massacre.
Oh boy. I'm just gonna sit back and relax. Just enjoy it.
Oh man. Well, I think that's all we got for today. Jacob, do you have an idea for next week's episode? Like,
Yes. This one I just pulled out of my ass because I couldn't think of anything else. Have you seen the Robert Zemeckis Christmas Carol movie?
I have. Yes. Wow. Back.
All right, then that's my pick.
All right, the one with Jim Carrey in it.
Yes.
All right. Maybe I'll actually rewatch it over this week since Christmas time's coming.
Mm-hmm. And I personally enjoyed it, so I was like, yeah, we'll do that one.
Oh man. All right then. But yeah, did you enjoy your time talking about Christmas spirit with Charlie Brown Christmas and How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
Oh yes, I enjoyed myself talking about these 2 Christmas classics. I had a lot of fun.
All right then. Well, I suppose that's it for this week. I appreciate you guys watching this again. I am Britton.
And I am Jacob.
And we do it for the love of the movies.
Yes, we do.
All right. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy Christmas.